And a most pleasant good day to each and every one of you. Time for the tropical update with J7409 on this Sunday, the 7th of October 2018. Thanks so much for joining me today for this tropical update. And what we're looking at right now is Tropical Depression 14. Okay, the winds this morning are 35 miles per hour. It has no gust at this time, and the minimum central pressure is 1004 millibars. Now, Tropical Depression 14 is moving very slow north to northwest right now today. So far this morning at around 3 miles per hour. It's looking like probably Tuesday night or Wednesday at some point it will start coming to shore somewhere along the Florida Panhandle. Now, of course, none of this is jotted down in stone. It can all change, but this is what it's looking like right now. Tropical Depression 14 does have that chance of becoming a hurricane. Let's go check out and see what some of the models are forecasting. Here's a look at all of the model intensity guidance for Tropical Depression 14L. As you can see, one has it going up to a Cat 2. I don't think at this time that will happen. There is that possibility, though, of a Cat 1, and who knows, it may go to a Cat 2. It's right at the verge here. We'll have to wait and see, but one thing for sure, either way, it's going to be a powerful high-end tropical storm. Either way you look at it, with rain and winds blowing, okay, and some gust of wind. So everyone, please go ahead and prepare for this, okay? We don't have a lot of time with this particular system. Whether it becomes a hurricane or not, it's going to be bringing lots of rain. It will be bringing some wind and possibly some storm surge. Now, once again, I think it does have that chance of being a 1, and there is the possibility of it being 2, but it's looking like as of today, it's just going to be a 1 for the most part, and a very high-end tropical storm, either way you look at it. When we take a quick look at all of the global hurricane models, this is all of them. It's going to take this track, folks, more than likely. I mean, they're all clustered here together, coming over the Florida Panhandle. We do have that one chance now of it coming up right into Alabama. But that's just one model. I wouldn't go by that, okay? Then you have this one. Still wouldn't go by it. It could happen, but I'm sticking to this, okay? This is the most possible scenario right now as we're looking at Tropical Depression 14. Yes, you will get wind and rain to a certain amount in Georgia. All the models going over Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, look, one's got it going right over my house, and into Virginia, all the way up to probably the foothill area of Virginia. All of these models right in here is what's going on now. This is the TVCN model, this red model right here. You can see where it's going. Right in this area. Alabama, you will also get some rain and some wind. West Virginia, Pennsylvania, going up, and probably Long Island, you're going to get some of this right on up. Even possibly Maine can get a little bit of rain from this as it weakens and moves on out. So this is, as you saw the picture, it's getting very well organized now, it looks like. Lots of clouds, building rain. Be prepared. Also, for everybody down in this area, I'm going to talk to you guys in further detail in just a few moments, but you guys are going to get rain, and more rain out of this, with possibly some gusty winds too. Now here we have Sergio, Hurricane Sergio. There's many to talk about. Plus we've got a new system that's popped up, so please watch this whole forecast video, okay? I want everybody to be aware of everything. Sergio still has winds this morning of 100 to maybe 115 miles per hour in that category. It has gusts of around 138 miles per hour. Now, Sergio did lose a little strength overnight, but the winds are still bad. It's still a very, very big hurricane, major hurricane. It should come down in strength slowly but surely, though. Okay, now after some time, it looks like we got a large trough that's going to happen over the southwestern United States, and it should maybe calm down Sergio, and it should move towards the northeast with increasing forward speed. Now, this trough area should make Sergio do that, and in the long range days ahead, it's looking like Sergio should move into drier air, stronger wind shear, and cooler waters to help it weaken more and more. But right now, it still is a very powerful storm. Let's check out and see what the models look like. Here are all of the global hurricane models for Hurricane Sergio. As you can see, where they're clustered together, that's usually the right places to look for where it's going to land up. And you can see it coming over the California Baja Peninsula right in here in this area, and then moving up into parts of Arizona. And I'll show you some other tracks that will show everything about it, okay? But folks, up here, get right for some more rain. Hopefully it will come down in intensity and it will just be a rainmaker once again. I know some of you folks had some flooding, terrible flooding going on last week, but please be aware, and if you have any flooding waters with Sergio to happen, please don't try to drive through them. This morning, Sergio's still a Category 3. Over in time, when it gets over these cooler waters and it gets in this hostile wind shear and the drier air, like I was saying, it should come down in intensity as time rolls along. And when we get right around here, say 84 to 108 hours from now, next 2 or 3 days, it should be a tropical storm when it goes into landfall. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Let's hope these things do start to make it disintegrate in intensity. And here's the storm that just doesn't want to die. Man, it's been out there ever since before Florence came to my house few weeks ago. It was not a hurricane or a tropical storm then, but I kept telling you guys to watch the system. It's going to be around for a while, and it's Leslie, of course. And this morning, Leslie is still a tropical storm. Her winds are 60 miles per hour with gusts of around 69 miles per hour. At this time, it's looking like Leslie should not be any trouble for anyone on land. It should move away from the U.S., but then it could move up to some of our friends across the pond, but it should be disintegrated some by then. So that's what it's looking like. We'll check out the hurricane models with the tracking on it, and we'll see what they're looking like right quick. As we look at the global hurricane models here, these are all of them. Here we go with the track. Right around in here this morning is where Tropical Storm Leslie is. You can see how she dips down some, goes out some, makes a curve around. She's had so many different paths that she's tried to take, folks. I'm still waiting to see and hope that this low pressure comes in, squeezes in between the two highs, and draws Leslie on out to sea, and she doesn't bother anyone. Now, I told you just a few moments ago we have another system to watch. Well, here it is right over here. Disturbance number 1. It's a broad, non-tropical low-pressure system located a few hundred miles south of the Azores, and it's producing a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms, mainly to the north and east of its center. Now, the system could gradually acquire subtropical or tropical characteristics over the next couple of days while it moves slowly eastward. By Tuesday, environmental conditions are expected to become unfavorable for further development to occur. Now, in 2 days it's 30%, and in 5 days it's 30%. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on this. Shouldn't be any threat to us right now, or maybe in the near future. Leslie, of course, I won't go on about this. Her winds are 60 miles per hour this morning. She's still moving east at 12, and Tropical Depression 14's winds are 35 miles per hour. It's moving really slow, people, north-northwest at around 3 miles per hour. Now, the tracking map from the National Hurricane Center for Tropical Depression 14. Okay, down around Cancun and in this area in western Cuba, as of right now, you guys are under a tropical storm warning. Okay? Tropical storm warning. And it looks like around these areas tomorrow should be the day. Maybe going into Tuesday. But tomorrow and maybe some of Tuesday is when you should get the wind and the rain that you're going to receive from Tropical Depression 14. As you can see, it does turn into a hurricane around Wednesday. And I am thinking, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday, at some point into Wednesday, that's when it should get up to the Florida Panhandle. And if you notice from the last update I did, it's moved more easterly. Now, all of North Carolina and more is in the cone. Georgia, South Carolina, all of North Carolina, just about all of Virginia, and as you move up the D.C. area, even parts of southern New Jersey and Delaware, you guys down in this area. It should not be a hurricane at that point, though. It should just be a tropical storm. And once it hits land, we're going to have to wait and see what it does. It could just be a depression going over, just a low system. But be aware now. I can't stress that enough. Be aware now. And so far as storm surge itself from Florida all the way over to parts of Alabama, it's too early to tell. As soon as I can find out something about the surge, I will get it out to you guys. The surge is what got me. It wasn't the wind. It wasn't the rain. We had a lot of rain too, but it was the storm surge that got me so bad and got my house flooded. So please keep all this in mind. If you live in any of these states, go ahead and prepare for lots of rain, and especially up in this area, maybe some gusty wind now and then before it completely dies out. When it comes to Tropical Depression number 14, probably right now we know that the winds are around 35 miles per hour and it's got a few gusts in it. Well, during the next several days, this depression is expected to become a tropical storm. Not in the next few days, but later today, and the system could become a hurricane by Tuesday night or Wednesday. So everybody, once again, I can't stress enough, you don't have a lot of time to prepare. Now the hazards, tropical storm conditions are expected to first reach the coast within the warning area by this evening or tonight, making outside preparations difficult or dangerous. I just showed you where those watches were, up around Mexico and western Cuba. If you're in those areas, go ahead and prepare because your time's running out. Now, total rain accumulations, 3 to 7 inches are expected over western Cuba and 2 to 4 inches over the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, and northern Honduras through Tuesday. Isolated maximum amounts of 12 inches are possible in western Cuba. A separate area of persistent, very heavy rainfall is expected along the Pacific coast and Central America and Mexico, including western Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala, and the state of Chiapas. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, forgive me, in Mexico. Now, in many of these areas, the rainfall could lead to life-threatening flash flooding. Elsewhere, outer rain bands from the depression are expected to produce total rain accumulations of 2 to 4 inches across the Florida Keys through Monday. And here we go with a quick tracking map of Sergio from the National Hurricane Center. I was telling you earlier, it is going to have these conditions it runs into that should make it degrade, and it looks like it's going to before it makes landfall. Tropical storm conditions instead of this major hurricane and hurricane action going on. By Wednesday, it should be a tropical storm and remain that way. This is the cone. The cone of uncertainty could go anywhere in this area, and of course, it will keep going up this way. So, I'll keep my eyes on it, let you know what's happening. With Sergio moving fairly slow, not really that slow, but fairly slow, and that's what's going to make it hang around in this environmental area that's very hostile to it, okay? Like the drier air, the sheer winds, and the cooler waters, and it will start to come down, as you can see, over the hours with the wind speed, and 120 hours from now, the winds should only be 50 miles per hour. Now, I know some of you aren't used to 50 mile per hour sustained winds when it comes to that section of the United States, but I know that you have been through them too, and you do have them some. The main thing I want you to really concentrate on is, let's hope the rain potential kind of dries up in this too, so you do not get any more flooding. But I will keep my eyes on this either way it goes and keep you informed, okay? Now, so far as the wind goes with Tropical Depression 14, I want to remind everyone that coming up within, let's see here, next 72 hours, which is about 3 days, it will be a hurricane, okay? It will be a Category 1 hurricane. And this is just about when it's going to make landfall, somewhere I'm believing to be over the panhandle of Florida, or that's the way it looks at this time. And that will be like Tuesday or Wednesday, Tuesday night or into Wednesday, somewhere in that area. Timing's really hard. I don't like to forecast timing because these things can speed up or slow down. You're never sure that you can be absolutely correct, but this is a ballpark idea of when you guys really need to have everything done because it's going to gain in strength. Now, when it gets near the Virginia coastline, it should be 50 miles per hour. So all of us, I'm going to have some winds coming in too, because it's going to affect me before it hits the Virginia coast. So inland and near the Virginia coast, this is a few days out from now. This is like 5 days out from now, towards the end of the week. And this sucker is going to bring rain all the way up to my friends in parts of the Piedmont and western North Carolina again also, as well as my friend Jim up in the Appalachians of Virginia. I mean, all over, like I showed you a while ago. Rain, we will get rain from this stuff. So far as storm surge, once again, for all my friends in the Gulf Coast states and the Florida Panhandle, I do not know what the storm surge is right now, but I will tell you that storm surge, rainfall, and wind impacts will be very, very possible over portions of the northern Gulf Coast by midweek, although it's too soon to exactly know the exact location and magnitude of the impacts, but that's why it's so hard to predict what, if any, storm surge is going to occur in your area. Residents in these areas, though, should monitor the progress of this system. All these states I've just said, Georgia, Alabama, everybody, all the states I've showed you, I'm not going to go through them again. They're in the video where I pointed them out. But it looks like, for the most part, the impact will be somewhere in the Florida Panhandle at this time. So with all of that said and done, that's a complete tropical update this morning. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, click the bell, check out the email notifications. Make sure you get all the latest in weather news, forecasts, watches, warnings, and tropical weather right here with all of us at Weather with J7409. Appreciate it a whole lot. And everyone, please go ahead and prepare. I can't stress that enough, because this thing, it looks like it's coming, and it's not going to stop till it gets to land. And then it's still not going to stop till it goes over land and goes back out to sea. So everyone, please prepare and be ready for some wind, some gusty winds, some high winds in some area, and rain in all of the areas. Have yourself a good day, a great day, a blessed day, and peace, love, and kindness to each of you. And don't forget now, if you have anyone who live in these areas, family or friends, please pass this video around. Make sure everyone is aware of what's going on, okay? And by the way, this will be named Michael. This will be Michael. I love you guys so much. You have a good day now. Thanks so much for watching.